What's up, everybody? My name is Alex Wilson from Fireside Yankees and Empire Sports Media Production. You're listening to the Fireside Yankees podcast. If you are a diehard Yankee fan, you've come to the right place. Make sure to smash the like button and subscribe below, and make sure to enjoy the episode. Today's episode, I want to discuss Jordan Montgomery's performance. Really barely escaped a pretty serious injury scare. It seems like he's going to be okay. I'll give you some quotes from Montgomery himself and Aaron Boone and kind of how he performed in this first outing. Had his ups and downs, allowed a couple runs, but ultimately also had some decent pitches, some decent innings. So I do want to discuss that. And the starting pitching as a total has been a little bit haywire. It's been inconsistent to start the year, but of course they will get a little bit more action under their belt and hopefully more efficient as we go. But in addition to that, a little preview for the Yankees and Toronto Blue Jays, who both have a 2-1 record. Kind of taking a look at the pitching matchup on Monday night, and what to expect from that. But let's dive into Jordan Montgomery right off the bat. He lasted 3.1 innings against the Boston Red Sox on Sunday. Definitely a difficult outing, some might say. 3.1 innings. He gave up 3 runs, I believe. So definitely not ideal for Jordan Montgomery. Finished with a 10.80 strikeouts per 9 rate, but again, still so early, can't even really determine what that's going to be. His velocity looked good for the most part, 82.3 miles per hour on his fastball, down 0.02 miles per hour. So it's hovering right around his career average at 92.1. Did not use his slider at all, as he hasn't in quite some time. Didn't use a cutter yet. He used that 13.3% last year. Didn't use it against Boston in the first game. Used his curveball 22.4%. Did not break the 80-mile-an-hour mark there. And also used his changeup at 22.4%, which is just around his career average at 81.6 miles per hour. So that was down about a mile per hour. But again, it's going to take time for these guys to really ramp up and get their arms to where they need to be. So I'm not too concerned about any minor discrepancies in velocity, but he did walk away with a little bit of an injury scare. I'll show you right
up there. You really got to feel for it.
So definitely not ideal for him. He got hit by a 100-mile-per-hour comebacker to the leg. You can see he's obviously in a lot of pain. That's going to be stinging for a couple days. I think it was right in the calf there. Not good. He stayed on the ground for a couple minutes. But when you're looking at kind of the reaction, bam, oof. Yeah, that's tough. I mean, look, as long as it's not to his upper body, his head area, this is something that he can shake off, something that he can come back from. Not too concerned about it. I'll tell you what he had to say after the game. He said, it's fine. It's going to be a little swollen, but I'll be ready in 5 days. So looks like he won't miss his next start for the Yankees, which is good news. Oof, yeah, that really hurts. I mean, 100 mile an hour to the leg, that's never going to feel good. Aaron Boone said, obviously, to see him rolling around like that in pain was certainly concerning. Pretty gutsy effort to kind of walk it off and shake it off. So he continued on. This happened in the first inning, so he lasted another 2.1 innings. So pretty badass from Jordan Montgomery. Shout out to him for battling through the pain there. But let's take a look at the matchup for the Yankees versus the Toronto Blue Jays. So this is going to be a tough one. The Blue Jays are no joke this year, and they were no joke last year. The Yankees are favored just a little bit. Obviously, last year the Yankees finished a 92-70 record, and Toronto went 91-71. So they were really, really, really similar. Blue Jays don't have many injuries to deal with. Nate Pearson and Ryan Baroque are the only guys on their injury list. The Yankees, however, have Ben Rortvedt, who, their reserve catcher, the guy from the Minnesota Twins, is going to be battling that oblique injury still. He's on the 10-day IL. Steven Ridings with a shoulder issue. Domingo German, shoulder issue. And Zach Britton, of course, he will be out for the majority of this season. But looking at the pitching matchup, it's Jameson Taillon versus Alek Manoah. Taillon, I mean, this is a guy that we all really, really want to be successful. Taillon is 30 years old. He has 1 year left of service time before he hits free agency. The Yankees need him to elevate his game. He's like best friends with Garrett Cole. So this is a guy who has pitched over 100 innings on 4 different seasons, had 144.1 innings last year, won 8 games, lost 6, had a 4.30 ERA, his highest since 2017. And he did battle some injuries last year. Of course, he had a little bit of a shoulder issue, and at the end of the season, the torn ligaments in his ankle, which shut him down and put the Yankees kind of a tough spot. But looking at his velocity last season, he averaged out at 94 miles per hour with his fastball, the lowest of his career, 87 with his slider, 80.7 at curveball, and 88.1 with his changeup. We'd like to see that velocity increase. Hopefully, his mechanics getting a little bit more refined and being healthy will do that for him. But he's going to get the start against Toronto. It's going to be a tough one. The starting pitching for the Yankees has been a little bit of a liability to start the year. Hopefully that can improve. That needs to improve. The bullpen is great. They've been phenomenal, but they've had a sub-1 ERA combined over the first series against Boston. But can they be depended on to be healthy and maintain themselves the entire season, especially if the starting rotation is going to struggle? Alek Manoah, on the other hand, for Toronto, is one of their young guns, 24 years old. Last year was his first MLB action. He had 111 innings of work. He won 9 games with a 3.22 ERA, 76.6% left on base percentage, and 38.8% ground ball rate. So he doesn't really generate a lot of ground balls. He generates a lot of fly balls, which could be homers. So that's kind of could be good for the Yankees, who tend to love that short right porch. And against Manoah, their lefties could end up slugging against him, which is a good sign. So I think at home the Yankees could end up doing pretty well. But looking at his velocity, 93.4 miles per hour with his fastball, has a slider and changeup to boot. But mostly he uses his fastball at 62.7% of his pitches and 27.6% with his slider. He's a really, really good slider. So that fastball, heavy usage, Yankees got to jump all over that. Good location from him. But ultimately, it's going to come down to the offense. Toronto has a badass offense, and everybody knows this. The Yankees also have a really good one. But it's tough. It's tough, battling these type of guys. They're going to take advantage of that short porch in both fields as well. With Marcus Semien coming over from Oakland, he's doing well so far this season. Or rather, not actually. He has 2 strikeouts against the Rangers yesterday. They lost 12-6. He's actually hitting sub 100. So he might be a guy the Yankees can take advantage of. Of course, they got Corey Seager. He's hitting almost 500. He had 2 hits yesterday. There's some really, really talented players littered throughout that lineup. So the Yankees need to be a little bit careful. They do not want to get stuck in a shootout with Toronto. They need the starting pitching to last longer. Taillon, first start of the year, I don't expect him to be on top of his game immediately. I think he'll have probably a similar performance to Severino and Garrett Cole. Kind of had their ups and downs. Cole was really, really good after the first inning, and Severino looked pretty sharp aside from that second inning home run he allowed to Alex Verdugo. But Taillon, I do really like him. I think that he can be a tremendous pitcher for the Yankees. Maybe a guy they look to extend, but he's got to stay healthy. No, they really got to figure out how to keep these pitchers healthy, because otherwise it's going to be tough. And they got to keep the pitch count low. Severino had 65 pitches over 3 innings. They had to pull him out early because of that. But ultimately, when you're looking at where the Yankees need to go, they need to maintain their pitch count. They need to be very efficient with their starters and their bullpen. They need to give them a rest. They can't be using 6-7 bullpen guys out of clip. It's just inefficient. It's impossible to maintain that specifically. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, taking a look at Jordan Montgomery, the injury scare, kind of avoiding that, thank goodness, and a little bit of a preview against the Toronto Blue Jays for Monday night's game at 7:05 p.m. in Yankee Stadium. So hopefully those lefty guys can take advantage of Alek Manoah and take advantage of that short right porch. Again, he's a pretty staggering pitcher at 6'6", 260 pounds. He's super young. So, being that he's so young and only has one really great season under his belt, this could be an opportunity for them to kind of tantalize him and stun him early. They got to get some guys on base, and they got to take advantage of the short porches in Yankee Stadium, as they always try to do. But make sure to like and subscribe below, as always, my friends, and we'll catch you guys on the next Fireside Yankees episode.